Hello, YouTube. This is Authentically Danielle. Welcome to my channel. I am Danielle, of course. It's me. And today I wanted to talk to you about how I was outed as bisexual to my family, against my permission, obviously, um, from my sister. Yeah, and my ex best friend. And that's a whole nother story if you want to know how basically my sister and my ex best friend became best friends. Well, sisters, or you want to call it. Anywho, that's a whole nother YouTube video. Okay. Anyway, so just to let you know a little bit of background, I have been bisexual since I was young. And it was something that I always knew, and a little bit more depth, like trauma background wise, regarding my um, sexual background. I was sexually molested by my sister as a child, and that wasn't the time that I knew I was bisexual, but that was a part of the trauma that kind of like affected my sexual life in my life period, obviously. But so when I was a child and I started having feelings towards, a lot of my friends that I was really close with, and started realizing how I was attracted to women, and I kind of just like didn't know, but I knew, but I didn't want to, like, how like but you didn't want to label it. That's how I was ever since I was young, especially when I went to middle school and high school. As I got into high school and got a little bit older, then that's when I started really realizing and had relationships with women as well as men. And I knew I was bisexual. I wasn't one of those girls that was just like, oh, let me hop the fence and see, well, dib and dab on both sides. Those girls I was one of that. I was attracted to women and to men. And yeah, but it was something that I hid from my family. Just a little background about my family: very religious. My mother is Christian Baptist. My family is Christian Baptist. I don't know if y'all have any Christian Baptist family out there, but you know how religious it could be. My family, especially like my grandmother, my aunts, my extended family on my dad's and my mother's side, they went to church every day, you know, church on Wednesdays, like it was churchy church, baby, okay? And so they're very religious. They were not conservative, but they were very judgmental. And I know, like, if you guys understand, like, the black families, and how, how our black families is, okay? Very judgmental, okay? Especially grandmama, okay? And the family, you know how they don't play that. So anywho, I never felt comfortable telling my sexual preferences, or my, what I was attracted to, or like my secrets or anything like that, to my family, because they've always been judgmental. My family picked me apart from my body parts to just everything I did. So I knew that letting them know that I was bisexual was going to be another thing they were going to pick me apart about. Just everything I did was picked apart about them, part about me. And that's why I just continued to like hold it to myself, because I knew that they were judgmental, and everything I did already was they were judging, and other people did in our family were they were judging. So I just kept it to myself. Another thing too is my family didn't really know, because I was, I wasn't like dressing up as a guy or like trans or anything like that. I was literally just, you know, ordinary kid, ordinary girl, dressed up and dressed up. I had my tomboy thing too, but I like dibbled and dabbed in both sides. So they really didn't know. And I do have a cousin that is gay. And, obviously they knew, because she dressed, like she was gay. She walked, she talked. I mean, it was everything. Like, she had the masculine swag, I call it. And so, yeah. So, like, I just kind of kept it to myself. And I thought that's, at the right time, when I was ready, that I would share with my family the secret. But it just never came to the point where I was ready until I got older, well, honestly, until now, like until these ages now, where I'm like, in my 30s, in my 20s, older 20s, where I start realizing like I wanted to be myself without, hiding who I am. So now before we get into my family, the experiences that let me know for sure that I was gay was especially when I was in middle school. And I was having a birthday party, had a slumber party with some friends, and we decided to have a slumber party at one of the friends' house. I decided to spend an hour at her house, and she was bisexual, and we just she let me know, I let her know, and it was like I felt safe and I felt seen for the first time. And this was a person that I ended up being in a relationship with and connecting with. And from there, we just kept seeing each other, and I know that I can connect with more than guys. I was just happy to have someone that sees me, and then also like someone I can connect with on a deep level. She was someone that I could trust in, and she was feminine and emotional, and I felt safe. So yeah, so that's kind of like how I knew that it was more than just physicality. I think a lot of people too, when they say they're bi, they always say, oh yeah, I'm bi because I like attractive women. But it's more to that. It's in depth. It's like actually having a connection with the women, with the woman on a deep level, and having like a relationship connection. And that's what kind of developed between me and this girl in middle school. I was like in 6th, 7th grade, and I was still confused. Obviously, I didn't know all the answers, but I knew that I was connecting to this other human being, and we saw each other, and she made me feel safe. And we didn't last long, obviously, but it was the first time that I actually kind of opened myself up to having like an actual committed, like real relationship with a girl other than a guy. So I won't say it was a real relationship like, we were committed deeply or something like that, but it was my first like real feeling of like a deep connection. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. So now, as far as back to my family, now as I got older, I had to. I was a single mom with two little girls. I had them very young. When I was 17, I got pregnant, and I had them back to back. And so, you know, as I was young, and I had a friend, really good friend that I was really close with, that I confided in and let her know that I was bisexual. We were close. We were just friends. It was nothing more. I never was attracted to her like that. But for her, I realized that she actually thought I was attracted to her. And I don't know if, especially if some of you guys are gay, bi, are just gay, LGBTQ. I don't know if you guys can understand like how sometimes like you tell a friend that you're gay, and they automatically think that you're attracted to them. And she assumed I was attracted to her, and I was like feeling her on that level. I always told her and clarified like, hey, we are best friends, we are good friends, we're close, that's it. Like, that's it, that's all, nothing more. I was never attracted to her, honestly. But physically, I wasn't attracted to her, and I just wasn't attracted to her on a deep level. um and so and that's what it takes to be, for me, I'm a Scorpio, so it's got to be deep for me to be attracted to you, more than just looks, right? Mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And she wasn't giving that, okay? She wasn't giving that. Let's just keep it real. So, anywho, I told her she can come down from New York. She was like, hey, I want to come down. I want us to stay together. I can help you with your two girls. She was, godmom. So I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. You can come down. She was going to stay with me. We were going to take care of the girls. She was going to come down, go to school, work. I was doing the same thing. We're planning on like moving together, being best friends, and, doing our thing. So I was like, cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. So anywho, because at the time, like, just a little background here. My two girls, their dad was a deadbeat. So he was not there. He didn't come pick them up. He only seen them 2 times out of their life, and that was kind of it. So she was like, I'm going to come down and help you with the girls. I don't have any kids. She had just gotten her GED. I was like, cool, she can come down. I got my GED and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. We're going to go to school, work, do our thing, take care of the girls, and just be friends, like really close friends staying together. I was really excited because I was like, oh, I finally have someone I can connect with on a friendship level. because at the time I had family around me, but they're very judgmental, especially like my sister, and she was very envious. And yeah, she just always had a problem with me, my older sister. Anywho, so she came in. My best friend at the time came down to stay with me, and I had told her me and my sister were going through some things. My sister had some issues with me, and I told her that she needs to, I was making her aware, like, be mindful, like, you know, she doesn't like me, she's envious me, so don't be surprised if she try to turn you against me. And she was like, oh no, nobody could turn me against you, like, we're best friends, da da da, the whole spiel. And then anywho, she turned her back on me. She ended up saying she didn't want to be my friend. She started hanging out with my sister's friends, and they started kind of talking shit about me, and she decided to be close with my sister. I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna sweat it. It hurt it, of course. But I was like, I'm not finna beg nobody to be my friend. So I was like, fuck it. You go stay with her. She ended up moving in with my sister. And yeah, that was kind of it. So they ended up moving in together. And when they moved in together, they ended up getting evicted. And so my sister ended up losing her job, getting evicted. And from there, that's when I was like, at the time, I was young, naive, and I really wanted a relationship with my sister and just wanted her to like me at the time. Now, I really don't give a fuck. But at the time, I really wanted her to like me. And so I was like, you guys can come stay with me. And I have room, because at the time I had a 3-bedroom home. So I was like, yeah, you guys come stay with me. No big deal. So they came to stay with me, and they were very trashy and very just trifling. So I had to kick them out. They got mad that I kicked them out and that we weren't getting along. Obvious. And then another thing too was I ended up dating my now husband um, at the time, and I was single mom with 2 kids, but me and him were seeing each other. And so my sister got jealous. Sorry, my freaking mic died, but let's continue with the story. So anywho, she got jealous. I don't know if she was jealous of my husband per se, or like me just having a relationship with a man, because honestly, my sister, she's had issues with having a relationship with um like with men. I never had that issue. I always was like able to connect with whether it's a female or a male, since I'm bisexual. I always had relationships. She was the one that was kind of like didn't really have many. So I don't know if that's what caused her to be jealous or what triggered her at the time. But I ended up having to kick them out. They were causing too much chaos. And with me being a single mom with 2 kids, it was just too much. So anyways, they got upset, especially my sister and the ex-best friend. And they ended up going to my grandmother's house and my other family's homes and telling them that I was bisexual. And my ex-best friend at the time, she said that, oh yeah, Danielle, she wants to be in a relationship with me. And she told me she was in love with me before she met Quay. And that she wanted to be in a relationship with me, and she was really into me. And I told her I didn't like her like that. And so I'm like, what? I was confused. I found out from my family, because I had ended up going over to my family's house. I hadn't been around them for a while, for some months. And when I came back around, they were like, yeah, such and such told us, the ex-best friend told us and my sister, that I was in love with her and that I wanted to be with her. And I was like, no. Before me and my now husband got together at that time, and this is like 15 years ago, before me and him got together, I had wrote this letter. So you know how Sierra wrote the letter about her husband? I kind of went through the same thing with my husband. I wrote this letter. I was having issues with my baby father at the time. My ex-best friend was there. I read the letter to her. I was crying to her about, just wanting someone to be there for me and my kids. That was a good, stable man. Like, I just am ready for love. And, she ended up meeting a guy, she asked me for a guy to be able to come over. She was like, hey, can he come over? He has a friend. I was like, yeah, sure. She was like, will you meet his friend? You know, you don't have to be with him, but will you meet him? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And so the guy actually happened to be my husband now. And I'll tell you that story. That's a whole nother, like, if I tell you guys how me and my husband met, it's like, you guys feel like, oh my God, you guys are meant to be. But anyways, he came over and I knew him before. And so when he came over, we clicked automatically. And from there, it was like, you know, out of this world kind of thing. So anywho, my sister proceeded, when me and him got together, my sister and the ex-best friend got jealous because the guy that she was seeing, that they didn't work out. My sister didn't have a guy because she like just didn't have relationships like that. And so, so they went to my family, told them, yeah, you know, they made the story about me in love with the best friend, instead of telling them that I actually was telling her about him, or wanting a partner, and crying to her about ready for love, like, because I was a single mom at the time. And then, she basically twisted my words to my family. And they were like, what? And I was like, what is going on? And so, they just went and told a whole bunch of rumors, a whole bunch of lies. They tried to say that my husband was molesting my kids. It was a mess. And from there, I knew at that point that they were toxic, and I just tried to stay away from them. We ended up actually moving from South Carolina to Washington State, because I was just like, they were popping up at my house. They were starting stuff. They were trying to get me kicked out. It was, my sister is like the sister from hell. I'm just keeping it real. And the ex-best friend had a vendetta, and they both kind of like, it's like two enemies. It's like when you have one person that hates you, the other person links with the other person. It's like this envious hate. And then next thing you know, they're like, you know, the best of friends because they have a common bond with you. You know, that's exactly what happened. So my family didn't really say too much about me being gay. They didn't make a big deal about it. My mom, on the other hand, very judgmental, Christian Baptist, very religious. She made it like I was going to hell and I'm so wrong, and she always looked at me already as just a bad person, and not always just like not a good kid, not a good person. And so she just automatically made her own judgments. And then who knows, with my sister and the ex-best friend went and told her, that made it even bigger or worse. And so my mom, she's very naive. She just believes anything. She's gullible. She believes anything that my sister says because her and my sister have a good relationship. So that's kind of how my coming out story came, without my free will. I wanted to tell it to my family. I wanted to be honest with my family. My family's very judgmental and they're very religious. So I never felt comfortable because they already had this vendetta and this stereotype on me as the bad kid, the one that never has their stuff together, the one that always fucks up, the one that got pregnant young. Like I was the kid that was like, I was basically like the black sheep kid, right? So I never really felt comfortable to tell them. And so what I will say is, sharing this story, I want to say, if you are someone that's LGBTQ plus, or someone that hasn't, whether you're younger or older, someone that hasn't told anyone that you know who you are or about yourself or came out, I just want you to know, like, do it on your timing. And also don't put other people's feelings or their religion or how they feel about it first. Just do it because it's you and it's a part of you. And if they love you, if people really love you and they care about you, they're going to automatically want to connect with you and stay with you and support you. And the ones that don't support you, fuck them. It's just simple like that. Just fuck them. So that's just basically how it goes. Like, you cannot make everybody accept you, love you who you are, no matter, if they don't like your religion or like your sexual preference or whatever, people are going to always have something to find to hate about you, because a lot of people hate themselves and they don't even accept themselves. So how do they have room to accept you? So just know that I love you, and this community, you are welcome here. I don't care if you're LGBTQ plus or whatever, we accept you here, period. I love you. And welcome to my community. If you guys like this video, first off, thank you for watching this video. If you guys like this video, want more videos, if you guys want more background about my family or my life, this is what I created this channel for. Just like kind of have like some really good besties community that I can connect with. So if you want that, or if you want to share your views or your comments, feel free to do that below. If you want to hear more from me or follow me, just know that you can subscribe, and also please like and share, so that there's other people that are going through this or have been through this. They know that they're not alone. Love you guys. Thank you for watching, and Authentically Danielle signing off. Ashe.